everyone, and welcome back to the A to B podcast. My name is Albert. I am joined today by my co-host Barry Bull, and we are joined today by no other than Joey Nguyen, highly viral on TikTok right now because of his diverse contests, and he is also a Marine reservist. And we're gonna talk a little bit more about you, Joey. How you doing today, brother?
I'm good. I'm doing good. Thank you guys for having me.
Of course, man.
This is an awesome set.
I appreciate you, man. It's definitely a pleasure to have you here, man. So let's start this off. Who is Joey?
So for anybody who doesn't know, I joined the Marine Corps in 2019. Straight just reservist, just weekend warrior. I didn't go from active or anything like that.
Okay.
And yeah, I just make videos interviewing crayon eaters. Is what I like
That's gonna be fun.
Hold on. Why do we say Marines eat crayons? Do you know? Not a trick question.
Yeah, what is your definition of that?
I mean, it's way before my time, right? I mean,
okay.
So it was already there when I joined.
Is it though? when did this come up? When did this started to come up? Like this whole crayon eater definition, or like, oh, Marines eat crayons, because it wasn't in the early 2000s. It wasn't in the early 2000s. It wasn't in 2010.
Yeah,
I think it was like mid recruiting. Oh, I think I know.
I don't recall it from when I first enlisted.
The very first one that I remember,
Yeah.
that I remember is like, what the hell is this guy doing eating crayons? It was that master sergeant that went viral. Remember that recruiter that went viral? He did like a super straight up video, and then all of a sudden at the end he like chewed on a crayon. That's the very first time that I saw about that.
I mean, the way I've always heard it is like, it's kind of like banter between the branches where Marines we're stupid. We're the stupider ones of all the. Jaime, you're not supposed to laugh right there. Oh my gosh, Jaime. All right, and so because of that, we like eat crayons,
Got you. Now, Joey, what made you join the Marine Corps over any other branch of service?
That's a good question. So I think the Marine Corps is, I mean, everybody knows it's like the toughest branch, right? 13 weeks compared to, what is it, like the Army's like 9 or 10 weeks or something?
Yeah, something weak like that, yes.
Yeah, something weak like that. And
Oh man, wow. Shots fired, guys.
Yeah,
we need a
clip
pistol sound effect in there.
yeah. But I always knew that the Marine Corps was the toughest branch because of my brother. Like, he joined 2 years before I did, and that was like a huge inspiration for me because I was still in high school. And so I saw the whole transformation. I went to Camp Pendleton. I saw the pack, the rifle, the Kevlar, and all that. And I was like, wow, okay. So then that led me to do some more research. And then I was like, yeah, I mean, clearly the Marine Corps is the best. So.
Did he go active or reserve?
Reserve as well.
You went reserve as well.
Yeah.
Do you guys drill together?
No. So he just got out, I think. He drilled
really?
in Camp Talega.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's in
over
Camp
at-
Pendleton. For you guys that don't know.
Over in VMU 4. So I don't think that unit is even around anymore.
What's his MOS?
He was a drone, like UAV technician or something. So
Wow.
he like flew the drones and
That's
stuff.
pretty cool.
What about you? What's your MOS?
I'm motor T, so I just drive trucks.
Motor 2!
Okay, so
Motor 2!
is it 3521 or 3531?
31. Yeah.
What's the difference?
I think 21 is the mechanic, right?
Yeah.
So the mechanics, they focus on like fixing the trucks, obviously, and then I just drive.
What made you want to be Motor T?
So right out of high school, my parents got me my first car, which I still drive to this day. Super grateful. It's like a 2013 Hyundai Sonata. And that was like my first taste of freedom since like growing up, super traditional like Asian household where it's like, hey, just stay indoors, do your homework, don't go partying or whatever.
Get good grades.
Yeah, get good grades and become like a doctor or something like that. And then,
I wasn't going to say it.
No,
I wasn't going to say it.
yeah.
Doctor, okay.
Yeah. I mean, when I was younger, I even tried to say it to like convince myself and make my parents proud. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get like a PhD in, I don't know, biochemical engineering or some shit like that to make it sound legit. But
now, one of the things that I encountered a lot when I was a recruiter, it was that my worst enemy were Marines, like actual service members or like veterans. I'm surprised that your brother didn't went like, oh yeah, don't do this, like this is how it's gonna be, and stuff like that. So it was a very positive message. My question is, did you actually get oriented? Like, do you receive an orientation with any of the other branches, or you were just like, oh, I'm gonna eat some crayons?
Yeah, were you talking to other recruiters?
No. So as soon as I saw like, hey, my brother's joining the Marines, I went and talked to the Marine recruiter, and then I went to one of the like workouts that they had, and it was like it was a sleigh fest, right? So I was like dying, and then at the end of it, I was like, wait, why do I kind of like this?
Gotcha.
And then I just kept on coming.
Who was your recruiter?
Is at the time Staff Sergeant Prudente.
Staff Sergeant Prudente, shout out! Ding 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 ding! Hey, we gotta put the effect. Every time we give a shout out to somebody, we're gonna put that effect. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So so Staff Sergeant Prudente. Now, your brother, at any point, since your brother joined 2 years before you, at any point, there's a point in a reservist career, and it's usually after they're about to, or right before they're about to graduate MOS school, and they're about to become their new reality, that they have to go back to civilian world, and a lot of them really don't want to go back, and they want to continue to go through the active duty path. And that's when we have to break their heart, because a lot of them come back to our recruiting office and they say like, well, I'm trying to go active now. It's like, too late, buddy. You already belong to your unit. You have to go through your unit's career planner and submit a package. So at any point did your brother tell you go active instead of reserves?
No. He was really good at like showing like an unbiased, like, hey, just everybody has a different experience. You go and have your own experience in the Marine Corps. His experience of the Marine Corps wasn't as positive as I think mine was. But
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy, because your Motor T usually is the Motor T community, like the Lance Corporals, PFCs, Corporals, they freaking hating their life.
So, but did he tell you like, hey, this is tough and there's negativity, but you were like, I still want to do it? Or did he give you a positive impression, or did he just give it all to you?
He just told me a lot of like really funny, fucked up stories. And then I was
Could you share some of them?
I think right when I graduated from boot camp, we were just talking, and then he was reminiscing because he just graduated from boot camp 2 years ahead of me. And so he was like, oh yeah, when I went through boot camp, I remember like one day one of the recruits, like his rack got like just thrown out the window somehow, and I'm like, how does it even fit through the window? But
how does it fit through the window?
Yeah,
Barry.
Guys, okay,
like the windows are pretty small.
Yeah, I know.
Did you go to boot camp in San Diego or Paris Island?
San Diego.
Okay, so what do you think about Paris Island? Obviously not.
I don't have any knowledge.
Yeah.
So
because nobody does, really.
Somebody got to fly you over there so that way you can do an interview to one of the West Coast Marines.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, Mick Rick, where you at? Okay, so I know, obviously, with your brother being reservist, you already had a good idea of what it's actually meant for you to be reserved. What was the deciding factor in between you going reservist or you going active? And did it come out at any point?
I think I always knew that I wanted to go reserves because I didn't want the military to be like the one-all be-all kind of thing. I didn't want it to be like a career. I knew that it was a good foundation. And I think a lot of the newer generation Marines are joining because of that, because they want that good foundation. It's not because of like wartime or anything like that. They're joining for, benefits, like illegal parents, so that they can make them legal, which is something that I recently learned about interviewing some of the Marines at my unit. Which is
you mean like citizenship?
Yeah, like I guess making the process faster, because their family gets pushed up to the top of the line once they're serving the country, and just benefits, a good foundation of discipline, hard work ethic.
Now, in your opinion, though, you get all those things in other branches. Because that's always what I tell people, right? It's like, listen, if you join because of the benefits, why join the Marine Corps? Why not join the Army? Why not join the Air Force? Easier life, same pay, same benefits. I think, and again, everyone is going to have, based on their different opinions, everyone's going to have their different opinion. But why do you, since obviously you are going through that right now, why do you think that people still choose the Marine Corps over those branches?
I think the culture is just a lot more. Like, I think the tradition of the Marine Corps is like super extreme.
Yeah.
Right. But I think there's like good and bad to that sometimes, where it's like sometimes you can't really change because the tradition is so extreme.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's like that's why the culture is so strong. And that's what causes people to join even when, like, for example, this year, right? Like, all the other branches struggled with meeting their numbers, and the Marine Corps didn't.
I still think those numbers are bullshit. I covered it in my last podcast,
Really?
which is going to be right here, but I still think it's bullshit. Yeah, I think, and of course, we're not going to go like deep diving into this thing. I definitely appreciate your honest, unbiased opinion on it. But I do think that there is a problem because obviously you're not seeing it from the active duty side, but in the active duty side, there's a lot of units that struggle to send their Marines to their professional military education schools, or, it's like, okay, yeah, we have our TO, which, our TO is what the amount of people that are organized in a unit. We have our TO, but guess what? With all these deployments and all these taskers that are going on, we don't have enough people back here to do our operations. So either one of the two. Either the recruiting numbers are wrong, we're not recruiting what the actual force actually needs, or the units are not simply managing their people correctly, which it can be a combination of both.
I mean, it's leaders not taking care of their Marines. I mean, that's how I see it. But so, like, what I'm hearing you say is like the Marines are like you said, they're hardcore. They're the toughest. Like, you saw that, or did you see that as like a challenge that you wanted to accept?
Yeah. Because I think like the harder you struggle, the better you become. Like, if you have an easy life, then you're not going to be like tough, right? You're going to be weak and you're going to be soft.
Yeah. Now, was there any point during, boot camp, MCT, or MOS school that you were like, damn, like tempted, like triggered to go active? Because you just said that you were, that you were pretty set on going reservist.
Yeah.
But was there any point that you were tempted?
Yeah. When I saw my drill instructors for the first time, and how, like, on Black Friday, right, they're like running all over the place and they're sweating in their, what is it, Charlies that they have to dress
Charlies.
in?
Yeah.
And then like the core frames are like super hard to run in. Like, how are they sprinting?
What company were you in?
Hotel company.
Okay, yeah.
Shout out Hotel
That's
company.
a good company right there. Okay, so you guys are over there doing damage, and we love you for that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. But no, yeah, I think that's when I was like, oh shit, if I were to go active, I would definitely try to become a drill instructor.
Now,
I like that.
Now, has active reserves? You know what active reserves is? Do you have active reserves?
Kind
in your
of.
unit?
I've heard of it. I've heard of some Marines in my unit doing that, but I'm not too familiar.
Yeah, where do you drill out of?
Camp Pendleton.
Okay,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's got to be you. In most, I was on I&I duty. For those of you guys that don't know, it's an instructor. You have an active duty cadre there, and when the reserve Marines come in for their 1 weekend out of the month, you're there to like shadow them, help them, mentor them, what have you. But you also are going to have active reserve Marines
And active Marines.
That's right. You're going to have AR Marines, active reserve, which they look, walk, talk just like active duty. They don't come in for 1 weekend out of the month, but it's a separate component. So they compete only with AR. So like you're going to have Motor T AR Marines. They only compete with Motor T AR Marines. If I'm active duty, I'm not competing with those folks. Why are they important to have out there on I&I duty? Because they're like the glue that keeps it all together.
They're the continuity. Yes.
They are the continuity. Because I'm only there for 2 or 3 years. Yeah. That AR Marine, they speak reserve, and I'm like learning it for like my first year or whatever. What's one message you would want to get to like active duty Marines about the reserves? Because we know there's a rub there.
Yeah.
How do the active duty Marines treat you?
I think it's pretty common for active duty Marines to like brush off reservists and just be like, oh, you guys aren't Marines for 90% of the time, so you guys are weaker or softer or whatever. But I think for like a good amount of reservists in my unit are doing like great things in the civilian world, you know, and it's just different. And if you actually like, if you're active duty and you actually meet like a reservist, instead of just like hearing all the rumors and stuff, then you'll come to find that we're all super chill. We're all like more focused on our careers and stuff outside of the military.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you network, and that's like one of the biggest things about the reserves is like being able to network with so many Marines out there that are crushing it in their own industries, whether it be real estate or entrepreneurship or things like that. And so, yeah, I think if you're active duty, definitely try to network with Reserve Marines.
So, and what do you do in your civilian life?
So I work in social media, and
cool.
I do like kind of the management behind one of the biggest like finance and entrepreneurship channels on YouTube.
Hell
So
yeah.
if you guys search up Charlie Chang, then
Charlie Chang.
yeah, Charlie Chang.
Charlie Chang, shout out.
Hey, shout out
Even though
Charlie
you don't
Chang.
need to shout out because you're huge on YouTube, but
Yeah.
hey, shout out right there. So okay, so you do that, and what does you like your day-to-day consist of?
Oh, it's different every day. With social media, we're always looking for the next like video to film, the next, you know, there's
What's
so many
trending.
things. Yeah, like trends.
Yeah.
Things that we can do within our niche that really set us apart from other YouTubers, and yeah, just getting better at
You
content.
manage his, so does that mean are you filming? Are you editing? Are you posting at certain times? Frequency? What does all that look like?
Yeah. So we have a team of like over, I think, 18 contractors overseas. And so I manage, I oversee like all the big project managers, and then the project managers oversee all the contractors like editors, writers, thumbnail designers, VAs, things like that. And then I also do film for some of the videos. And then I used to edit a lot, but then I kind of stepped back down from that, and then we hired editors. So now I just manage the whole
Man,
editing
that's
process.
fucking crazy. That's a whole
So you-
production thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you manage a team. Is there good
crazy.
money in that?
Yeah. I mean, it's
He said, yeah.
Yeah,
So he-
yeah.
he said, you know,
he's probably PR trained, so we gotta ask him lower, higher. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
exactly.
no, I'm totally comfortable with sharing. So what Charlie pays me, he pays me off of like a 1099. So I'm a contractor as well.
Yeah.
Got
That
it.
way I can start my own business.
Hell yeah.
So it's basically like his business is paying my business. So every single month it's 6,000, and
Wow.
so it's 3,000 every 2 weeks or something like that. And then everything else that I make from like my YouTube and stuff like that is all extra.
So $6K a month. You're working from the road, from home, social media.
Yeah, and it's I honestly don't feel like it's work because it's like what I'm passionate about.
Yes.
So a lot of the times when I'm at drill and you know we get off work and then I'm popping out my laptop and start typing away or doing some other stuff.
Were you doing this whole social media thing before you joined, or did you start this like after you joined?
No, yeah. So it was right after I joined. I wasn't really doing anything with my life for the first like year and a half.
Okay.
And then it wasn't until I met Charlie and I applied for the position that he was. I started off as an assistant,
Gotcha.
and so I worked my way up. But then, so I started doing social media.
Did you have any background in like shooting video, any
No.
type of marketing, editing skills?
Damn.
No,
man,
I had
that's
zero
great.
skills.
Wow.
Yeah, so he took me on as just like brand new, fresh, but I had the mindset and I had the work ethic. I think in the beginning, and so that's what really set me apart from competitors that also applied.
Dude, serious shout out to Charlie, man.
Yeah, I know.
Taking
Hell
a
yeah.
shot on a guy
Hell yeah.
and
No,
freaking, and
That's
he's
awesome. Look, I
obviously
get goosebumps,
super,
man. That's super-
dude, like,
that's
yeah,
super good.
100%.
That's super good. But that speaks volumes. And I'm guessing, man. Like, Like that's one of the things that makes people successful. Who's you surround with. It's like tell me your network and I'll tell you your net worth.
Well, how did you meet
You know?
Charlie?
So he posted one day on Instagram, and it's funny because like a year or two before, he posted a separate job for like he's looking for like a scriptwriter, and I applied, but I wrote like a super simple email. I was like, "Hey, I would like to apply," and I was young back then. I didn't know anything, so obviously he didn't reply back. But then like 1 or 2 years later, he was like, "Hey, I'm looking for a personal assistant," and so this time, I just moved out of my parents' house and I was kind of like, working as a server at Olive Garden full time, doing college on the side. And I was like, hey, you know what? I just got to go for it, go for every single opportunity.
Hell yeah, dude. That's fucking motivating.
Yeah. So,
dude, I get fucking pumped when I hear you saying something
Yeah.
like that.
Well,
man.
yeah, hell yeah, because it's like, did you struggle with the confidence to even like, how do I do this? What am I going to say? Is this even going to work?
Yeah.
I'm taking this leap of faith.
yeah, it was definitely a huge leap of faith. But, yeah, so I sent him a long ass email and I was like, hey, I'll scrub your I'll scrub your toilets if you want me to.
Right.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
no job.
And
is
we know
beneath me.
Marines can clean.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So was there what would be your advice? A Marine that was Joey, 2018 Joey, not doing anything right now. You still it's crazy because you weren't doing anything back then. It's usually those people that joined the active duty and then you took a shot and still going to reserve and it's working out perfectly for you. So great kudos on you for that. What would be your advice to 2018 Joey that is about to talk to a Marine Corps recruiter whether he should go active or he should go reserves?
Oh man, what advice would I give? I wouldn't give him any advice on like what to ask a recruiter. I think like that was fine. I didn't really. I don't think that I would have changed anything about how my recruiter went about his way, but I think I would have told myself to not get complacent once I get back from MCT MOS training.
Okay.
Would you tell him to go active or reserve?
I think I would still go reserve.
Okay.
Yeah, still go reserve.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
I always said, like, when I was on I&I duty, because I had, like you said, that they would, Marines you put in, we would have, the recruiters would bring me poolees that were joining the Marine Corps but going to the reserves, and I'd have to do their interview.
Okay.
And I'd always ask them, like, why are you going reserve, And they all had similar reasons, like, I want to go to school, I don't know. What I would say is if you're thinking about, if you want to join the Marine Corps and you're conflicted about active or reserve, why would I go reserve? If I had a job on the outside that I could not say no to the money. That's it. That's just me, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think this generation, I think it goes some of what Joey was saying is a completely different generation now. I think that
because of peacetime, you think?
Because 100% is because of peacetime, but I think that a lot of people want to join the military right now because of more of like the benefits and stuff like that, not just necessarily because of the money. There's a lot of people that are, I think, willing to risk. It was kind of like me. I guess you can take my opinion. Like I got out of 14 years. That's a huge risk. Like nobody in the military does this. Or like what I did.
Yeah.
Like when was the last time you heard of a gunny, not a shitbag, like a straight up dude that was, got promoted every single time?
Yep.
When was the last time you heard that guy of getting out of the Marine Corps? At 14.
I can't say I have.
So I did it, and it's because I was like, man, I'd rather take my chances outside. And I think there's a lot of people that are doing that. And I've talked to a lot of my Marines when they
It's
were.
funny you say that, dude.
I was talking to a lot of my Marines, and there's nothing. A lot of people, and this is actually one of the subjects that we were going to bring up in one of the other podcasts, but we'll bring it up right now. It was only doing 4 and getting out, or only doing 1 term, because I know for reservists, I believe it's 5 years.
It's 6, I think.
6 years.
Yeah, 6.
So you do 6 years and you get out, whether it'll be reserves or whether it'll be active. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. a lot of people think, oh, well, you're doing 4, like you got to re-enlist, and then we got all these leaders like talking about like why they got to re-enlist and like do the Marine Corps career. The Marine Corps is not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's actually not for most people.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
it's not. And we make it a thing of saying like, hey, no, it's okay to not only do 4 and get out. And what I feel that we need to do better is to have those conversations with our Marines, because what happens is, as a staff NCO, I am so in the reality of my work and all the shit that I got to get accomplished in the Marine Corps, that when a Marine comes up and tell me, Gunny, I'm only doing 4 and getting out, what happens? You're no longer, I'm not going to send you to this school.
You are on the Marine Corps sidelines.
Exactly. It's like, well, guess what? You're going to go
You're
over
not
there,
deploying.
or you're going to, and you can only do that. And that's what I think. Like, we need to get more
Dude, that
comfortable.
pisses me off. I hated that.
We need to get more comfortable at having that conversation with our Marines, because a lot of our Marines and again, I've had those Marines. It's like, man, good on you. So what is your plan? That is the next conversation that we need to have. So what is your plan? Oh, well, I'm still 2 years out, so I'm going to see. No, it's like, no, if you're 2 years out and you already said that you want to get out of the Marine Corps, no, you need to start planning now.
I think a lot of leaders, honestly, they take it personal. You want to get out after 4 years. There's too many leaders I've seen take it personal. You want to do something other than what I've done. I've chosen to be a company man or woman or whatever and stay in this institution. You're like, or you think you're better than me? You think like I made a bad decision or something? Or they like internalize it in this weird, non-supportive way, and then they use their position or their rank to basically like talk down to Marines, belittle them, demean them, and just like.
Well, I just think the way that I see it is based on what you said of Marines, of like leaders taking it personal. I guess it could be some degree of getting it personal, but I think it all boils down to the investment that you're making in that individual. Yeah. And the investment that you're making in that Marine. Because, and again, we've had these conversations, because my MOS 3152, we have to send Marines to a lot of courses. We got to send them to hazmat courses. We have to send them to, you know what I'm saying? We got to send them to a lot of courses. So if we have 30 Marines, who are we going to send? And I've had conversations like, oh, well, yeah, this is the best Marine that we have. Mm. Oh, yeah, but he's getting out. Mm. So why would we send him to that course? Why would we give him a 2-year, certification that he can take out in the civilian world? I don't think that's the right answer. If you're the best Marine out there, why won't we not want to position you to be the best civilian out there? Because when I joined the Marine Corps, I don't know if your recruiter told you this, it was, we make Marines. The Marine Corps' mission is to make Marines and to give back quality citizens to our communities. So
yeah, I can't say it any better. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what. And
we want you to assume greater responsibility in the military, be a better person, so that you can do what you just said. Go back to society and be better and do better.
Yeah, and Joey, from what this conversation that we've had, you sound like you're really both. You look like a fit dude. I can tell that you're a good Marine. Like, you still have the haircut and everything, even though you're not in drill or anything like that. And it sounds like you're also doing good in your civilian life. I think you're a prime person, instead of being behind the cameras, to be in front of the cameras. That's just my personal opinion. But has anybody in the Marine Corps, like Comstrat or anything like that, approached you to do a collaboration or anything like that?
I mean, I guess I technically did a collab with a Comstrat Marine.
Major
recently.
Lim?
Yeah, Major Lim.
Yeah.
He's the liaison for the Marine Corps Entertainment, which is something that I recently learned about. Like, they help like give guidance for movies that want to feature Marines. So they make sure like all the regulations are good and stuff.
Yeah. So it's funny that you bring that up. Yeah. Jaime, can you pull up the one of the podcasts or one of the clips that we sent you by Joey? It is this not that one.
It is that one.
That one. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one right there. Can you go ahead and play that clip? And for the guys right now that are in TikTok, go to Joey Nguyen's TikTok and go ahead. First of all, give him a follow, and second of all, go see the video that he's talking to Major Lim, about wokeness.
Is that how you say your last name?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can say it a bunch of different ways, but I don't really care.
How do you say it?
Win. That's like usually the easiest way.
Yeah. Okay, so can you go ahead and play that so that way we can discuss this video a little bit, because we were talking it off camera, but we want to make sure that we cover this on camera.
What do you think about the veterans that are saying the Marine Corps is too woke now?
The Marine Corps is now a professional organization. Professionalism means respecting, treating people with dignity and respect. I don't believe that's being woke. I think that's just purely how humans should treat humans. And if the Marine Corps is participating in that, that's just called a professional fighting force, not being woke.
Okay, so let's break it down. Joey, when you were recording that with that major, first of all, what made you ask that question?
I mean, I just saw a lot of comments on some of my videos that were like, it had the keyword woke in it. And I kept hearing that word over and over again. So I was like, there's a specific like audience for this kind of word and this kind of topic. So I was like, why not make a video about it?
So did you like the major's response?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's a response.
Why?
Oh wow!
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
It was a response. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do you personally agree that the Marine Corps is woke?
I don't agree or disagree.
Okay.
Joey.
Good.
I think
that's PR trained.
I think
he is PR trained. I'm telling you, he is PR trained. Okay, so I'll take that answer.
Yeah.
But let's go with somebody that is not PR trained. Let's go with Barry's.
Yeah, I don't like the answer. I think the answer is terrible. I think Major Lim, you know I love you. I think your answer, I don't agree with it.
I do agree with it.
Yeah, why though?
I'll take a stance on it.
First of all, what's woke though? Can we like just...
That's the definition. And again, I guess different people will have a different definition of what woke is. To me, I don't think he utilized in the first part of that clip, I don't think he utilized the words correctly of like the Marine Corps is now a more professional. I think the Marine Corps has been a professional organization for a long time. A long time.
I mean, when you're on camera like that and you're put on the spot.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Yeah.
We can say, oh, he didn't use the right word. I completely understand. I'm not holding it against them. Yeah. I think that what he was referring is like, regardless of what's happening, the Marine Corps is not woke. It is still professional. My definition of woke is defining the actual laws, defining the actual things that have been imposed in us by society, politics, school, all of those things. We are challenging the definitions of things that a lot of people have been knowing for a long time. The LGBTQT, transgender people, and that's why.
I think you said that wrong.
But that's why we love Albert. That's why we love Albert.
Listen, let's stop making fun of my Hispanic accent, okay? How do you say it? How do you say it?
LGBTQ.
LGBTQ. Okay, so that is essentially where we at, and that's I think the biggest definition of wokeness. But the problem is that if it was happening with society, the Marine Corps has not lowered its standards in order for us to accommodate those people.
That's where we agree. Okay, here's my definition of woke. Y'all in the comments, jump in. Woke is a term that began on the left, okay? And it's something that I wasn't aware of this societal issue. Now I am. I've become woke to it. And I want to become an activist in some way, whether it's on social media, in person, or otherwise. Okay. Then now what I see it as, how I define it, it's a term that's coined by people on the right in our country, conservatives, and some people use it to kind of dismiss you.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, that's just that's just wokeness, right? And they want to dismiss whatever it is that you have to say. I would define how the conservatives, how people on the right say woke as they are societal concerns, identity politics, if you will, right? Gender or ethnicity that are being, forced upon the military in certain ways, right? And they are, right? If you look at our promotion system, you'll see there are requirements to select Marines of different ethnicities and genders. There just are. Just like with recruiting, we have transgenders in the military now. And I'll say this about transgenders in the military. I saw a video. I should have freaking sent it to you because it really bothered me that they took a service member in the Army that wanted to transition. They got I'm talking, I don't know. It was very top tier treatment.
But the people the reason why a lot of people are mad at that is because they wanted the military to pay for it. And a lot of people are like, you're not using my tax dollars to pay for it.
There's a lot that goes into it. And as well as I do, it's like there's a lot of screening. You're not just going to be like, I want to,
100%.
whatever. The issue I had with it wasn't the fact that the person was transitioning and the military was taking care of it. It was they got top tier stuff. And we got people with you can't even get a freaking MRI. Okay. True. Let's just be real, True. Right? Change your socks, drink water, take a high knee, face outboard, and take Motrin. And then meanwhile, I'm serious. And this guy was, whatever it was, they were getting this top tier attention treatment. They were rushed to the head of the line. They took, it was almost like a freaking PCS move to Texas or something. So that didn't sit right because it's the disparity between, people who are dealing with other issues and stuff. So that was my thing. But that's how I would define woke.
Yeah, and I mean,
not professionalism.
We can even say, which this was the biggest debacle of how I think one of the biggest fuck ups of the military that the military has probably had over the past decade. Probably even more. Well, actually, no. I'll put Afghanistan, Kabul first. Mm-hmm. But the second one that I'll put was when we started kicking people out, and very recently came out in the news that it was illegal for the Department of Defense to impose unapproved FDA or FDA unapproved vaccines on service members and kicking out a shit ton of service members.
See, that goes into wokeness for me.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a societal thing.
Yes.
Right?
If you refuse, you're woke. If you refuse, all of a sudden, you're woke. Well, why wouldn't you take it? Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you take it? And then you got pushed and corralled into a corner.
If we're being real, though, people on the left, they're all about the vaccine. People on the right, they're not. And I understand I'm generalizing, but...
Yeah, I mean... my part with that is a lot of good people got.
Dude, you don't understand how stupid I felt, bro. I was a sergeant major. I was at the first of the line. We were basically told if you don't get this vaccine, it wasn't mandatory at the time. There wasn't all this controversy. And I'm gonna go back to mandatory fun day. He did a video on it. I felt stupid, dog. I'm up there as a leader, pushing this to my Marines as a good thing. Okay. And we were told as COs and sergeant majors, if you don't get this, your name's going to be put on a list. You ain't going nowhere. You ain't moving. You ain't moving up. You'll be moving out. So for us, it was mandatory. Right. And I was at the head of the line to get that vaccine. And to be honest with you, dude, I got the Pfizer and I had the
only one that was how was that experience for you, Joey? Whenever you were joining the military, of course, you were probably either still going through you were probably still already in your reserve unit. Mm-hmm. What was the guidance that was being given to you at the reserve unit?
At our unit, they word kept on changing. I think it was I
think that was pretty much everywhere.
You gotta take this shot, if you want or something like that.
Yeah, but I guess the implications are not that severe because you can be like, okay, fine, I'll drop to the IRR, right? Was that an option for you guys?
You can only drop to the IRR if you finish your obligated service.
Yeah.
So if he's done his service. 6 years,
Interesting.
Because when Reserve Marines go past their non-obligated time, I used to see it all the time. Reserve Marines will play that game. Oh, I don't like the first sergeant. I'm going to drop to the IRR. And then when that chain of command leaves, they come right back. If there's an open BIC, a billet identification code, a spot for you and your MOS.
So, Joey, I do have one question for you, right? Mm-hmm. I know that you don't have like a stance, right, on this, but in a general perspective, like the 20,000-foot perspective of things, what is one thing that you would say that the Marine Corps is doing really good, and what is one thing that you think that the Marine Corps needs to get better on? We can also generalize it in like the military, right? Obviously, we're Marines, so we're talking about it. But if it applies to all the services, then even better.
Yeah. I think the Marine Corps is doing a great job at pivoting once again, like adapting. Like they're starting to adopt social media stuff. I heard they're gonna come out with like a TikTok MOS or something like that.
Really?
Wow.
So yeah, I think they're definitely, like I'm seeing at my unit.
Yeah.
Like there's social media Marines in like S2 or something like that, and they're in charge of like the social media account for that unit. And then the units are now creating Instagram pages and competing. And so this is the new wave, I guess, of recruiting and getting people's attention is through social media. So I think it's great that the military is, or at least the Marine Corps is pivoting, adapting, like always, right?
Yeah.
Adapt is one of the adapt, overcome, all that stuff. But one thing that they could do better.
Like if you were the commandant, what would you change?
I don't know. Start using TikTok. I think the Marine Corps is missing out on a.
But that comes from China. We can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know, like the whole like tape around all that stuff. But I mean, I've seen a lot of growth from TikTok and.
I think it's generational, dude, if I'm being honest. I mean, I can't tell you how many senior leaders are like, I don't do social media, and they're still in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
They're still in the service.
And they will know that will be the best way to communicate with your Marine. Like, you will gain so much common ground. And again, you don't have to even be confrontational about things. You can just be like, hey, Marines, good afternoon. I just want to give you your safety brief on Fridays.
Yeah.
And again, you probably don't take that as in, well, Sergeant Major's no longer doing safety briefs at his unit because he's doing them from his freaking house at 1430. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, yes, still do that, but have the Marines still see it, because a lot of those Marines, they're different. They're in different locations. Like you said, maybe you're that Sergeant Major that's not, like he always says, that right now I'm not going to go talk to you, Sergeant Major, because you're part of my chain of command, and I don't want to bring up that problem. But if now you have that Sergeant Major and be like, man, that guy was really good to go. Now, like we always say, you're not a Sergeant Major. You're not a leader of 1st Supply Battalion. You're not a leader of VMU or, CLB-1 or whatever. You are a leader of Marines.
Well, if I'm a young Marine, I want to be, if the commandant or the sergeant major of the Marine Corps used it in that way, I would want you to take me through your day with you, through your life.
Yeah.
But we don't do that because I think for some leaders, it just humanizes them too much.
Yeah.
Right? If the commandant's a regular dude who's cracking a Bud Light on a Sunday watching football, even though people may think that he does that, or maybe they know I don't know what he does. But, maybe that humanizes them too much in their mind. And there needs to be a mystique and layers. Like I had leaders. Well, dude, I had leaders when I was still in, and they'd be like, why do you want to let Marines know what kind of music you listen to? I would never tell my Marines what kind of music. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just a regular, whatever. I'm your neighborhood friendly sergeant major. Yeah,
okay. So last question for you, Joey, before we let you go, brother. What is your ultimate goal in life?
Just give value. Give value and, help.
That's the answer.
That's the answer right there. Because I agree with you, man. I couldn't have shit, man. I need to take a class from you. Because I'm telling you this, man, like I would have probably gone on rambling about what my ultimate goal in life is for like 15 minutes, and you just summarize everything that I really wanted to say in one sentence. Because I think that's what it's all about. specifically in this generation, is how do you remain relevant? Is you bring value to people or industries. And because once you bring value, then money's gonna come. You don't have to be worried about, the financials or anything like that. I think that's a great answer, man. So again, brother, hey man, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming out here and having this conversation with us. Guys, you guys probably follow Joey already, but if you guys don't follow Joey, where can they find you?
You can just search up Joey Nguyen on all social media, and then you'll probably find me.
Oh, there it was. He's like, man.
Dude, he just went over 50,000 followers on YouTube. On YouTube, right?
Congratulations.
Hell yeah, dude.
Congratulations. So guys, this brings up to the end of the podcast. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys want to see more content, make sure that you guys click on any of this stuff so that you guys subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching the A2B podcast. Barry, where can they find you?
@Bull5277 Instagram, @Bull52772 TikTok. Click the link in my bio. Schedule a call. The call is free. The change lasts forever.
And we will see you guys in the next one. You have a good one.